Well, aren't you a regular Nancy Drew?
I learned that from the Nancy Drew Detective.
Okay, go.
You think you can follow the clues and solve the case of the missing condiment, Nancy Drew?
Because I've read every Nancy Drew mystery ever written.
Nancy, please tell me you're joking.
Wow, you suck at this Nancy Drew stuff. You should get a new hobby.
My name is Carson Drew, and this is my assistant, Nancy.
Nancy Drew.
It's curtains for you, Miss Drew.
Nancy Drew strikes again.
A regular Nancy Drew.
Well, hello, regular Drews.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome back. Oh, we are so excited. We are starting off a brand new episode block. We are going to be discussing kind of a bunch of different kind of more kids versions. I guess all Nancy Drew books are kids books, technically, but there are definitely ones aimed at a younger audience. And that's kind of what we're going to be focusing on in this block. And in this one, we are starting off with the Nancy Drew Notebooks, number 6, The Ice Cream Scoop.
I would say it's all chapter books because that's kind of what these are. Not the middle grade, but more chapter books. But we're also not just doing chapter books. So can't even label it that.
Yeah. But anyway.
But we're
doing
here.
this. Yeah, we're doing this instead of doing like a whole block on the Nancy Drew Notebooks. We're going to be like, picking from all of these different like younger series. And I think that's for the best. Because you were talking about this before, Kori, about how like it just doesn't feel like we're discussing the same thing.
Yeah.
Like the books don't feel... And I guess, I don't know, we may don't know this. We won't know this until we try them all because there are definitely some of these series that I haven't read before. But they just feel different. And I don't know, maybe we'll be able to describe that a little bit better once we finish up this block and I can tell you why I feel that way.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm not sure why. I just know that they do feel different.
They definitely are. Definitely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They have to be, I guess. But this was my first time reading any notebook or any of the chapter books. So it's a new experience for me.
Okay.
But
yeah.
Maybe
What'd
not
you
something
think?
we want to dwell on for too long. But
right.
It's cute. It's cute. It's intended to be a cute little story. And that's exactly what it is. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
What do you think?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think it was a cute story. It was simple, but I still feel like the mystery, I think, was probably compelling enough to be like interesting to a younger reader. Obviously, I knew exactly what was happening the whole time. But that's because obviously I've read 12,000 mystery books. And once you've read one, you kind of understand how the plots work, And so when it's simple like this for a young reader, it's pretty overt. But I think as a kid, like maybe you probably wouldn't pick up on those things and that it was still interesting enough to keep your attention and maybe be a little bit surprised at the outcome, I do think that it went way too in depth on the whole ice cream business.
Oh, yeah.
Like make the actual
process.
Mechanics. Yes. Yeah. And like, I understand that it's a mystery about ice cream and that maybe there is some elements of that are relevant to the mystery, but I feel like they went way too hard on it. And I just don't, as an adult, I'm like, okay, I don't want to read this. And I can't imagine that a child would either. I think it just felt like, oh, what do kids like? They like ice cream. How can we write a book about ice cream? When I just don't think I feel like that's a little bit patronizing maybe, Because like, yeah, I liked ice cream as a kid, but I like ice cream as an adult too. I don't want to read a mystery about it necessarily. Or at least if I am, I want the mystery to actually be about something else and not like ice cream is just kind of the setting,
Right. Yeah.
But this kind of literally was about ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seemed like, as a kid, I think it's like an adult's conception of what is interesting to a child and not what is actually interesting to a child. Because I think as a kid, this is not like what I would actually want to be reading. Like, I would want to read about Greek gods, goddesses, or like, I was really interested, I think, in like religious structure at the time, things like that. Or I would want to read about, there you go, horses,
dogs, any animal, really.
Animals, or which is something I think adults have a finger on. I think they know that one, and I'm sure there is a horse themed Nancy Drew notebook. I don't know, but hope. I'm sure there is.
There's gotta be.
Or like running away. That's really interested in stories about kids who run away. So I want missing children in my but adults are like, oh, we can't write a kid story about that. And I'm like, yes, you can.
Have you seen the Boxcar Children?
Don't whip out. Yes. This is what we want. We want to know about suffering. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Or like real estate. I think I was interested in real estate too. Or just like understanding like how, not actually real estate, but like thinking about like how it works, like living in different places, I think maybe was a better description of what I was interested in. So, not so much ice cream.
Yeah, no. Maybe like history, just any history thing. Yeah, like that stuff.
Oh God, yes. You write to me about like a princess, I'm there. There. Yeah. But not like, oh, she, swoons over a handsome prince kind of princess. No. I want to know about like actual historical princess. Did you read the Royal Diary series, Kori?
Maybe. I know what you're talking about. I don't remember if I actually did read those.
One like about Anastasia and Elizabeth first, and like there were so many, Cleopatra, there were so many of them. I loved those.
I might have read the Anastasia one. Yeah. Probably just that one, but yeah. Any of the American Girl stories. I love the American Girl books. Those are great. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
I'm trying to decide if I would have like when I was that age, when I was the target audience, if I would have enjoyed it. With the ice cream making stuff, I think I might have been interested in the process, but they got so technical with it that I don't know if I would have really cared for the description. And now reading it as an adult, I'm like, oh, well, it's a little too simple. I already know how ice cream is made. So as an adult reader, I don't really care that much either. Yeah. But I don't know. Also the notebooks, the clue books, the whatever the other ones are, Clue Crew, they all kind of hinge on this idea that Old Clock was not Nancy's first mystery. And I think that canon change also would have bothered me a lot. I've talked about this before, how when they changed canon, it kind of bothers me a little bit, where we re-meet someone for the first time. Well, we're kind of rewriting a little bit of a history, right? Where Nancy was solving her first case with Old Clock, and now here we are with like 70 of these, showing that no, she did solve mysteries when she was a lot younger. So I think that also would have bothered me as a very young reader trying to
or at
the
least
series.
Have been confusing, Yeah. Like, I don't understand how this series exists because the other series also exists, and Nancy's first mystery wasn't this, and she's younger, and how does it work, and why, and I can imagine that being annoying and confusing.
I would have been very stubborn about that as like a 7-year-old. Be like, no, they said.
There would have needed to be like a little like page at the front of the book that like explains that, like, we're writing a new series, as if, to say officially, like, to explain to the younger reader, if you enjoyed the Nancy Drew mystery stories, you might find it a little strange that Nancy's investigating a case soon, like, this is an imagined world.
Well, because obviously the target audience for this is a lot younger. There's a lot of cases now where you might encounter this series before you ever encounter the mystery stories. Yeah. You might read these for 2 or 3 years before you're like ready for the reading level of the originals. So
I think that's likely the intention, right? Is to get the readers younger so that when they're older, they'll read your other book series, right? Which in this case was just the digests, I guess, right?
just the Mystery
yeah.
Stories Digest at this time. So this was 95. This one came out. Is that right?
Yes,
oh yeah, 1995. Right there. 95.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird, just when you think about the timeline. So
for sure it is. Yeah, I think I picked up a couple notebooks maybe when I was around this age, but I can't remember what I thought about them.
Yeah.
I don't think I think probably at the time when I was reading Nancy Drew, I was kind of already past this reading level, you know? So I think that maybe I might have checked out a couple from the library or something, but I was already on the other digests at the time. And honestly, I was reading books a lot.
Yeah.
A lot bigger than those too, you know? So they probably would not have held my attention for very long. But I'm sure I didn't hate them, you know?
Yeah.
Because they were just more Nancy Drew content, and I would just take anything I could get at that stage, you know?
Yeah, fair.
I
feel like I would have much preferred the digests or just any of the classic 56 originals. So,
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
It's cute, though.
It is so cute. And the whole time I was reading it, like, you know, obviously I can't remember what I felt like as a kid. And I was trying to picture maybe what I felt like as a kid, but I couldn't just get over reading it as an adult and thinking about a baby Nancy.
Oh.
Like it was like, oh my God, this is so cute and so sweet. And there are just scenes where like Nancy does stuff with Hannah or she does stuff with Carson. And I'm like, oh my God, imagine baby Nancy and taking care of a baby Nancy. Like she was talking about how Hannah has like been their housekeeper since she was little, and how Hannah was driving her to the library like for this project that they're working on or whatever, and I was like sobbing at the thought of like, oh my God, Hannah has seen this baby, this like child grow up and like taking care of her, and then like thinking about her like as like an 18-year-old doing stuff, and I'm like, no wonder they lose their crap at all of the like dangerous stuff that Nancy gets into, because oh my God, she was just a baby one time.
Yeah,
she was just a baby,
just so small.
Yes,
so innocent. Oh my gosh. Just all the things Nancy's perfect at when she's 18 years old. It's like, oh, and now here she is learning to do those things. Oh yeah, she's a great skater. Here she is learning to roller skate, and Carson's holding her hands. And oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Yeah. And then I think about Bess and George the same way. I'm like, oh my God, babies, little tiny babies. Oh, so sweet. It's really precious.
They did do a good job with those portrayals of the baby, 3 of them. Yeah, excellent.
So there's another thing that I think we need to talk about with this book. Obviously, this book is about ice cream, and it was set in 1995. So there are some hints of diet culture stuff in there. Kind of the whole
Start 'em
premise.
young.
Yes, the whole premise of the book is that these girls, they are in class and they get assigned a science project where they have to pick a favorite food and write a report on how that food is made. And specifically the teacher, which I think is an interesting, good project for a kid, I'm sure. But the teacher specifically is like, no junk food. Don't pick junk food.
Yeah. But then allows ice cream.
And then there's this whole discussion about, oh, can we get away with picking ice cream? And then the teacher ultimately comes on the side of, well, there is nutrition in ice cream.
Just
so
like
you
all
can
foods.
do ice cream. I know, like every food. And what is different about ice cream? Because it has milk. 100% I bet it's because it has milk in it. And the 90s were all about the got milk stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And the milk campaigns and milk builds strong bones, which is apparently was just a push by like big dairy, basically, to get Americans drinking more milk. But I'm like, oh my God. Like, and then also just thinking like about how much ice cream these kids are eating. And like, just like the wildly skewed like behavior and like thought around food feels a little bit present in this book.
Yeah.
So, yes. Yeah.
It's definitely not as egregious as some of the mystery stories get, but there is still those little hints of flavor throughout it. Flavor.
Yeah. Well, there's one spot, and I was really worried. There was a spot where I was really worried where there's 2 ice cream parlors that they're kind of talking about in this book. And one of them Georgia likes and one of them Bess likes, right? Obviously, because you have to start off the pitting Bess and George against each other real early. But they go to the one George likes first, and Bess at first is like, oh, I'm not going to get anything. And I was like, oh, no. No. They are not about to give baby Bess an eating disorder. At what are they like 8 or 9? Grade. Yeah. In this
about
book.
9 years old, yeah.
So I'm like, which obviously is real life. Like, I know that happens.
Oh, it starts that age.
Absolutely, it does. Definitely. I know. But I'm like, can we please not portray this in a book aimed for this age group, you know? But they didn't. That's not what they were doing. She just wanted to get ice cream at the other place because she liked their flavors more, which is great.
She was just saving room. It's okay.
I'm just so like prepared for it. You know, I've got like my eye on, and I'm like, oh, I swear.
I read it that way too at first. I was like, oh, we're already page 4. We're doing it. Nope. No, it's okay though. But.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. But I think I liked it overall. I think it was really cute. The other thing that stands out to me about this is that these kids are busy. These kids are booked.
Yes.
Booked and busy. And that surprised me because I did not feel like it was very representative of true life. And maybe it's different for different kids. I'm sure, you know, it was. But as a kid, I never had anything to do.
Oh.
There was nothing going on. You know what I mean?
Oh.
I mean, occasionally there was like a birthday party or like, you know, you might go to, I don't know, the store, the park, like something like that. But like these kids were doing so much stuff, like play dates, roller skating, movie theater, ice cream park, like, and on top of, and this book takes place over the course of a weekend and like a day. And literally they're doing something like, there's not a single hour that is not filled with an activity. And I'm just like, I was so bored growing up a lot of the time that I just can't. I was like, they don't even have a single hour that like they have to like play by themselves or like read a book or something. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is crazy to me.
Even there is when Nancy has like an hour or two until she has to go meet Bess and George at the ice cream parlor. Even that, she's like, all right, time for roller skating practice. Yeah, and she straps on her roller skates and she's just out there doing it for 2 hours until she's got to go to the ice cream parlor.
Maybe it is a Nancy thing. Maybe it's just because Nancy is allergic to, you know, rest.
Yes. Sitting still.
Yeah. She's always going to have some kind of project, something she's working on. And even when it is like downtime for her, she's got something to do, you know?
Yeah.
It's I wasn't
Carson
like
keeps
that
her
as a child.
scheduled.
I was like staring at the walls, you know? Like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's so funny.
That is a Nancy trait for sure. Excellent.
Oh, but anything else we want to say?
Should we talk about the cover art?
Yes.
Because goodness, we were just talking about how just cutesy, froofy, frilly these are.
We actually have 2 different covers, which is cool. So you have an earlier cover. I think it's maybe the first one that it was printed with. And I have a later Scholastic cover. So they're actually quite different. But they kind of feature the same scene, which is Nancy, Bess, and George eating ice cream around a table. Presumably they're at one of these ice cream parlors. So this could have been any of the scenes in the book where they're there. But mine is very floral, very grandma-esque. There's this like floral border around the picture of them. And even in the picture itself, George is wearing like a floral dress. And I think Bess is too. Yeah, Bess is too, but the pattern's a little bit more subtle. And then in the background, there are like flowers on like a trellis.
Aww.
So it's like, and there's flowers on the table. It's like literally everywhere you look, there's flowers. Which
I have to tell you,
pretty.
It's a girl book.
Yes. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. It's so girl coded. It feels very grandma core. It feels very Laura Ashley-esque.
Yes.
They're wearing like the frilly dresses. Like even George is kind of, you know, wearing like a frilly kind of dress. Nancy is honestly the most like dressed down out of all of them, or at least I assume that that's Nancy, because all of the kids on this cover, so George has dark hair, but Bess and Nancy are both blonde on my cover.
Okay. Interesting.
And so it's difficult to maybe tell who is supposed to be who, but I assume that Nancy is the one sitting lower down.
I think this is the scene with the salt and the ice cream, and Bess is spitting out her ice cream because it says we all scream gross, and she's like spitting out her ice cream on mine. Yours, it just like looks like she's like eating a scoop of it. She's not
but
spitting
maybe
it
that's
out.
what it is. But then that is Bess, and Nancy's the one with the headband.
That's how I would read it.
That
if
might
it's the
make
same as
sense.
this scene on mine. But.
That might make sense because I think Bess orders something different in that scene. Like she orders a sundae, but Nancy and George don't.
Correct. Yeah. She's the only one that gets something here.
Maybe that is Bess then. Interesting. I assumed that Bess was the one with the headband because of an accessory. You know, I assumed that they would give Bess the accessory.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, interesting. Anyway,
mine, George looks like she's ready for her first day at the law practice. She's wearing a white button-down collared shirt with a vest over it. But then the white Keds, I'm obsessed. I love
that's
it.
Cute.
So
that's
cute. And Bess in her little Converse, and I can't even tell what
Bess
she's
is
wearing.
Styling.
She is with
That's
the ruffle socks.
Outfit. Yeah, that's cute. Oh my gosh, that's a cute outfit. And that's such a funny face she's making too, with their tongue out.
Her little fluffy bangs, the curly bangs.
Yeah. Okay, the frizz. Yeah, on my cover, the frizz factor is out of control.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can see this, but this whole hair situation, that's frizz central. And then even Nancy's, which is maybe a little bit slightly curly, but kind of brushed straight, is very frizz city too. So George is the only one. George has some frizz, but her hair is cut shorter, and you can hear more of a natural curl is there. But yeah, oof. I don't love it. I have to say, I don't love the cover. At least on mine, the Scholastic cover, there's just a lot of white space in the overall cover design, and the picture is like in this frame. And I just feel like the picture itself looks unnatural, and two, the setting of the picture it's not visually exciting to look at, and the colors are kind of muted. So it's just not something that really grabs your eye, I feel. And like, if I look at it from far away, I can't tell what's going on. Like you really have to study the picture to tell. And I just, I don't know. I'm just not crazy about it. So I like the floral, but I also don't like the floral on a book cover. You know what I mean? So
I don't know how well it would grab a child. This is much more colorful. You would think that this would grab a 9-year-old's attention a lot better than the mostly white.
Well, and also on yours, in the background of them eating the ice cream, there's a big ice cream sign. Or like a
you
window.
Can tell that they're supposed to be in an ice cream parlor.
Right.
It's cutesy. It's got those iconic white chairs with the metal back. Yeah,
exactly.
You can tell where they're at. So.
This, honestly, on mine, it looks like they could be in someone's backyard. Like, this could be a picnic. Like, and they're eating ice cream, but like, I don't know what the context is. But like, outside of seeing and seeing too the title, the ice cream scoop, I know that ice cream's going to be involved, but I don't necessarily know that the setting. But in yours, I know ice cream's going to be involved, and I know that it takes place at an ice cream parlor, and I know that something gross is going to happen because Bess is spitting out ice cream on the cover. You know,
yours even says "ice cream, you scream, we all scream gross," doesn't it?
Yes, it
mine
does.
Says that, but yours doesn't have her making the gross face.
It's just she's kind of smiling, which might have been like the poor cover models who they got to sit
maybe.
for this photo or whatever. They just weren't weren't briefed very well as to what they were doing. They were laughing maybe a little bit. But but no, that doesn't make any sense in context with the picture that I'm given. So when I read that, I'm like, I scream, you scream, we all scream, gross. What now? So it's a book about gross ice cream? So it's just kind of confusing. Whereas with yours, I kind of get the story a little bit more. I'm like, oh, there's something wrong with Bess's ice cream.
Right.
And that has something to do with the mystery, you know? So, like, I don't want to read a book that's about something gross.
Right. Oh my gosh, that reminds me. I'm happy to suspend my disbelief anytime the book calls for it, you know? But if you're going to convince me that a certain flavor of ice cream is disgusting, don't choose pineapple flavor. There's this whole theme in the book where the pineapple papaya flavor is like the most hated one and no one likes it. It's nasty. I'm like, that sounds amazing. I would have a scoop of that. Yeah.
And it has real chunks of pineapple and papaya in it, I believe.
Yeah. If you want me to believe it's gross, you got to do a lot better than pineapple papaya. Give me something
creamy
really
fruit.
nasty.
Yum.
Yeah.
Like
maybe like a corn flavor or something. That would be gross, you know?
Yeah.
Which exists, by the way. But
oh, really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
You can get whatever flavored ice cream.
Yeah, I guess it would be difficult, though, because you would have to think, like, okay, what's an actual ice cream flavor that an ice cream parlor would sell? And so, like, there's nothing that's going to be inherently gross.
Right. Maybe like coffee,
mint
if you're
chocolate
a kid.
chip, in my opinion. Yeah, maybe like a coffee flavor.
Pistachio, since
pistachio,
it's green colored. That could be gross looking to a child. But.
Yeah. But I think maybe they were thinking just because kids don't like to eat fruit. And I'm like, in what universe, first of all?
I do.
I love fruit. I love
pineapple, especially.
Yeah.
Especially when I was 9. I would have loved that.
Yeah. But maybe just like because like fresh food, they like junk food and snack food.
They want the bubblegum flavored.
They want bubblegum flavor,
Mm-hmm.
which gross. Okay, disgusting.
That is gross.
Ice cream.
Yeah.
Anyway, before this becomes a podcast about ice cream flavors.
Sorry, I'm getting way off track here. We're still on the cover.
Well, no, the thing is, though, Kori, is that it's not off topic. It is a book about ice cream. So what else are we going to talk about? Which, by the way, Kori, what is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Oh, that's a hard question. Anything with like cookies, like cookie dough, Oreo, cookies and cream, anything like that. What about you?
Yeah, that's very popular. Anything with peanut butter in it.
Oh, yeah.
Peanut butter or caramel. Peanut butter and caramel. Peanut butter, anything like that. Anything chocolatey. Although weirdly enough, I don't like chocolate ice cream with peanut butter.
Interesting.
I mean, it's okay. Like it's obviously it's not bad. You know what I mean? But I think you have to have like a vanilla flavored ice cream with the peanut butter in order to really taste the peanut butter flavor well enough.
Yes.
So anyway.
Oh, now I want ice cream.
Now I do too. Weirdly enough, reading this book didn't make me want to eat ice cream, but talking about this book and talking about ice cream makes me want ice cream. So maybe we'll get some a little later.
Sounds nice.
3 words.
Oh gosh, I don't know.
I had a hard time with this, yeah.
I feel like ice cream should be one of them. But
I thought so, but because it's the title of the book, I feel like it's implied that
it's too obvious. Yeah.
Yeah. You know? So I went with flavors because I do think they spend a lot of time talking really specifically about all of the different ice cream flavors. And like it kind of plays a big role in the mystery where like maybe you wouldn't think that it would, but it's actually like a giveaway clue is like about an ice cream flavor. And obviously stuff happens that's related to a specific flavor of ice cream, like you were talking about the pineapple papaya, and also like Bess and Nancy deliberating about what her favorite flavor is, and Bess liking different flavors and George liking different flavors. They just talk a lot about the flavors, you know? I don't know.
I think what else they do. Yeah, no, they're picking out ice cream flavors, and then they're in class for like 2 minutes, and then they go back to the ice cream parlor, and that's basically it, except for our brief roller skating break. So
Yeah,
maybe roller skates.
Well, activities was another one of my
Yes.
words because of just the amount of stuff that they're doing. Felt like a lot. Just like the get-togethers and coming and I just felt like all of the time they were going somewhere and doing something, and I'm like, oh. I felt like I didn't have time to breathe. I was like, aren't you tired? Yeah. And I was like, oh, they're 9. Of course they're not tired. Yeah. They have limitless energy. But yeah, activities was another something I was thinking about. And then I thought like maybe kind of generational, because we kind of I feel like obviously that plays a role in the mystery itself, and we'll talk about that when we get into the specifics of that. But I was also thinking, well, throughout the story too, we kind of get several different generations represented and how they interact with each other. Because we have Nancy and her age group. We don't really get anyone younger, but we do get some older siblings, not of Nancy, Bess, and George, but of another character in the book. We see his older siblings and we kind of interact with them a little bit, who are teenagers. And so it's like we get younger kids, we get teenagers, and then of course we get like the adults, like the teacher, Carson and Hannah, and how they interact with the kids, and how the kids are interacting with the teenagers, and vice versa, and how the teenagers are interacting with the adults.
Oh, and even like the grandpa age as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Shop owner. Yeah.
Yes. And also like the teenagers work at some of these ice cream parlors. And so it's like, okay, so we're seeing kind of how like this generational exchange kind of works, and how they're all relating to each other. And sometimes working together, sometimes not working together, you know, or supporting each other in different ways. And I thought that was something that was interesting to me in the book, is watching that kind of dynamic play out, even though it's, again, there's not a whole lot there, you know. I still thought that was kind of an interesting thing to think about.
I like that.
And also, again, thinking about baby Nancy and how Carson like is watching this little baby grow up to a fully grown detective. So sweet.
Like that. Oh yeah, no, that's perfect. That works so well. Okay. So generational flavors and activities. You said was the third one. Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
perfect.
Okay. Do you want to start us off, Kori?
Oh, sure. Okay. Oh my gosh. So yes, we are in 3rd grade, guys. Nancy, Bess, and George are in their class on a Friday deciding what topic they want to choose for their group project that they've been assigned, which again, they've been assigned to pick a favorite food and then research what's in it, how it's made, how nutritious it is, all of that. They decide on ice cream, which they're very excited about. Their teacher does give them permission because ice cream has nutrients and, you know, atoms in it and all that kind of stuff. But we're told, oh no, everyone has to be in a group of 4 because of the way the class size divides. So we have to add someone to our group. No. And there's somebody missing today. And the teacher asks like, oh, what is that kid's favorite food? And somebody goes, he loves ice cream. And she's like, perfect. He can be in Nancy's group. So they're a little bit bummed. Yes. They're super bummed that they're going to have to work with a boy of all things on their ice cream project. Of course, he's not here today, so they just kind of start putting together their initial plans of what they're going to do for the project. After school that day, they start on some research, and they decide that they're going to go to the local ice cream parlor. There's 2 different ice cream parlors in town, Sugar and Spice and Double Dip, which there has to be some less gross name for an ice cream parlor than Double Dip.
I never thought about that, but you're so right.
Why not like Double Scoop? What are we double dipping? Ew.
Well, so sometimes people dip ice cream cones in like chocolate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a dip cone.
Like,
so maybe
like
we're dipping it twice. But
I think that's
only
what
picturing
it's supposed to be, but
like a chip and dip that we've already dipped.
Backlash.
I don't know. Exactly. But so George really wants to go to Sugar and Spice, which is our more old-fashioned of the 2 ice cream parlors. They make all of their ice cream in-house, but they have a very limited flavor selection. I think they said that they only have like 6 flavors or something like that. Bess wants to go to this trendier place called Double Dip, where they don't make their own ice cream in-house, but they have a ton of flavors. So Nancy decides, why not do both? We're doing research after all. We have to check them all out. So we go to Sugar and Spice first, where George and Nancy pick out the flavors they want, but Bess doesn't get anything because she wants to wait for her double dip selection. She actually says this aloud, and Sid, who is the owner of the Sugar and Spice, he angrily slams his scoop down on the counter and tells the girls to pay and get out right now and don't come back. So, of course, this is a pretty intense thing to say to a third grader, and Bess almost starts crying, poor thing. And Sid, immediately recognizes that he kind of freaked out, overreacted a little bit, and he apologizes, and he explains he's just upset because he's worried that the double dip is actually going to put him out of business because they've been so popular. He takes a lot of pride in his homemade ice cream and all the natural ingredients that he uses, but he just can't compete with Double Dip because they have so many more flavors than him, and they also do the topping options and everything. They have a ton of stuff there that you can get, and he just can't keep up. We also meet Sid's nephew, whose name is Bobby Alden. He is about 14 years old, and he works at this ice cream parlor as well. And he says, don't worry, nothing is going to happen to Sugar and Spice. We're going to be just fine. They can't compete with our homemade flavors, right? So whatever. Nancy, Bess, and George then tell Sid about their ice cream project, and he's like, oh, why don't you guys come back on Sunday and I'll give you a demonstration on how I make my ice cream. And so they agree and they thank him, and then they leave to go to the Double Dip. When they get there, they are seated by the owner, Kathy Perez, and Bess orders a sundae while Nancy goes to wash her hands because she's got sticky ice cream all over her hands from the Sugar and Spice. And after she washes her hands, she notices that the back room door is just standing wide open. And of course, because she's Nancy, she decides she has to go in and snoop just a little bit. And she sees in the back room, she sees a bunch of supplies, some back stocks of toppings and stuff, and some empty ice cream buckets, which she accidentally knocks over. And she's in the process of picking them back up when someone shouts at her to put them back down.
So it turns out it's actually not someone yelling at her. It's the owner, Kathy Perez, talking to a delivery driver outside. So he's got ice cream buckets and she's telling him to put the buckets down, not Nancy, but it's just a bad timing for Nancy. But apparently he has 10 buckets of pineapple papaya ice cream, which Kathy claims she did not order because no one likes that flavor. It's her least popular flavor. And he shows her the order form, and it has her name on it, though. So she's kind of forced to accept this delivery, even though she didn't put it in. She says to the delivery guy that she suspects an ex-employee, this teen girl she had to fire for giving her friends too much free ice cream. She suspects that this ex-employee called in this order as a way to, get back at her. So that's unfortunate, but there's nothing she can really do at this point. So then she sees Nancy standing in the storage room, and she's like, what are you doing back here, sweetheart? What can I help you with? And Nancy tells her oh, actually we're doing a project on ice cream, and can you help us with our report? And Kathy agrees to invite them and invites them back to the shop tomorrow to kind of do a tour. After Bess finishes her ice cream and they leave, Nancy pulls out her notebook. So this is kind of the clear conceit of these books, is that Nancy has this notebook, and apparently this is how she always starts off a mystery. She, whenever something happens, she'll write it down in her notebook, and that's where she'll keep all of her notes. And
I do love this concept.
It's
so fun.
Cute. It's cute, but I don't feel like it's necessary,
It's definitely not necessary. It doesn't go on enough during the story that it really feels like the notebook itself is that important. It almost feels like a baby version of what they do at the beginning of the Files, where it's the suspect,
Yes.
how they just have this little summary at the beginning. So
yeah,
it's cute.
Absolutely. Well, but I also feel in both of the situations, in this situation for the notebooks and in that situation for the Files, and also the diaries, the Nancy Drew diaries do this too, where there's the diary entry at the start and end of the book, or just the start. I can't remember. I think it's also at the end. And I just feel it's not. I feel like it's trying to dress it up for no reason. You know what I mean? It feels like it's saying to readers, we know you need a reason to read this. We have to put it, oh, well, it's a notebook that she's writing, instead of kids can just read that it's a mystery.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
it feels a little cutesy, and it is cute.
Yeah.
I'll give you, it's cute, but it feels a little bit like just overkill, I think, when I think the mysteries should be able to speak for themselves. We don't need the trappings for this, you know?
Yeah. I think the Clue books are the same way too.
Yeah,
The
I'm
current
sure.
series, yeah.
Yeah. Because in the diaries and in the files, even though it's brief, it again feels like unnecessary. And a lot of the times I don't even read it, you know?
Yeah, I don't either, honestly.
So
I don't want to spoil it for myself.
mhm.
Keep that information for yourself, Simon and Schuster.
Yeah. So I do like that this is maybe a little bit more embedded into the story than those. I like that, because if it's going to be a plot device, then I'll take it, you know?
Mhm.
But otherwise I'm just kind of like, don't really need it. But anyway.
Yeah.
So Nancy writes down the suspicious thing that's happened in her notebook, and Bess and George see this and they're like, oh, Nancy, like, what are you on to? What's going on? And so she explains about the fake order and that this teen girl is the main suspect for this. Anyway, they agree to meet at the library the next morning to continue their work on this project. Luckily, too, they also run into Mike Minnelli. This is the boy that the teacher assigned to their group. So they're able to coordinate with him. He's sitting in a car with his older brother and his older brother's girlfriend, Carl and Donna. And he smushes his face at them, like in the window of the car. And Bess hates this. She's like, oh, gosh, sea boys are so gross. I thought this was so funny. I'm so glad that they put this in there, because this is so relatable.
Yes.
There is nothing I remember more than being at this age and just being horrified at the most disgusting things that boys in my class would do.
Oh my
There was
gosh.
a boy in my class who would eat his boogers right in front of you. Like,
yuck.
Stop! Oh my god. Anyway. Oh, and the incessant like burping and farting and just the gross jokes like about poop and like, I'm like, please class it up, you guys.
Remember those drinks they would make at lunch?
Oh, sick. Oh, yes, Kori, I remember. Oh, I just had a visceral reaction to that. Oh my god, that was disgusting. They used to like mix every liquid, and sometimes not they put anything left on anyone's lunch tray into a milk carton or a Danimals like a yogurt container.
Yeah. Yogurt,
mix it
milk,
all up,
soda, ketchup, anything in there,
and then dare each other to drink it.
Ugh. My gosh. They were nasty. What were they doing?
What was that? What was that about?
Did anyone ever get sick?
You know, they always say, yeah, they probably will. Why didn't anyone get sick? No, this is the thing. Because they say, oh, it's, girls mature faster than boys, which honestly, I feel like is a big crock of bull. And it's just that girls are forced to be more mature than boys because there's more societal expectation of them to behave in certain ways.
Of course.
But regardless of whether or not that is true, I never had a phase where I was interested in doing gross things.
No.
That was never a maturity thing. There was no age where I was like, ooh, this is fun. Let's to giggle about poop. I was always grossed out.
No.
Always grossed out. Mixing foods on my plate. Never. Ew.
Yeah, that's disgusting. Worst I did was probably playing in mud, trying to do like an art project in the mud with like seashells and stuff that I found, like.
But I don't think that's gross. Like dirt, I don't find gross.
I wasn't eating it.
Like bugs, maybe. You know what I mean?
I wasn't dealing with the bugs. No.
Exactly.
No, absolutely not. No frogs. None of that. No. The boys would pick up the frogs and run around with them.
I think I liked frogs, and I liked when we lived in Irving, we used to get a lot of like garden snakes, and like I used to love those because those weren't. I mean, snakes I don't feel like are gross. They're not wet. Do you know what I mean?
I'm just afraid of them. Not that I'm grossed out by them. I just don't want to be near them because they freak me out.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, I also had outdoor dogs when I was growing up too, and so there was like more. I think some taking care of wildlife feelings. Like we had to like move them out of the way so the dogs wouldn't get to them, kind of a thing. Or like, you know, so like I would pick up a frog. I wasn't like catching them, you know what I mean? But like I picked up a frog or two. But it is kind of gross because they'll also pee on you.
It's different than playing with it and like trying to chase other children around with the frog. No, thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah. You were
So-
helping the frog. The frog needed you.
So this is relatable how Bess is grossed out by this boy smushing his face in the window. And I don't care what anyone says. It's not this is not a gender like, or it's not like a young form of like attraction thing.
Oh yeah, he's
You know what
not
I mean?
flirting with her. He's not.
No. Well, I
picking
mean,
on her
he
to be-
might be, but
Well.
I'm saying that her being grossed out by him is not, it does not have to do with like sexual development. You know what I mean?
No, right.
This is not a sexual development stage to be grossed out by boys. Boys are just doing gross things.
Yeah.
Sticking your tongue against a car window is gross.
It is gross.
So they talk to him, and luckily Carl and Donna are headed to the library tomorrow morning too for like some other thing that they're working on. So they agree to bring Mike to the library to meet them there. So the next morning they all meet up at this library, and they actually find a bunch of useful information for their report. They go to photocopy this picture of an ice cream maker from an encyclopedia to use in their report when they run into Donna, who is obviously there with Carl doing whatever schoolwork they're doing. And she happens to ask them, oh, how's the report going? And Nancy tells her that, oh, it's going good. You know, we just got this information. And next we're going to go to Double Dip to talk to the owner, Kathy Perez, because she had invited them to come take a tour. To which Donna exclaims that she hates the Double Dip because guess what? Kathy fired her from there. And she would actually love to see the place close down. So she is the teen. She is the ex-employee that Kathy ended up having to fire is Donna. So now we know who this is.
Double gasp.
Uh-huh.
The Double Dip.
So Nancy tells this new development to Bess and George over lunch at Bess's house, which is so cute. They go to Bess's house for lunch, and her mom makes them grilled cheese and tomato soup. I'm like, oh my God.
That's adorable.
I don't know why it's so cute, but they're just talking about sitting around the kitchen table, like eating lunch, like just the three of them. And then I was also thinking about how like in like the Files or whatever, like they do that a lot too, where they like, go over to Nancy's house to like eat something and Hannah makes them sandwiches. And I was like, oh my God, it's like, it's the exact same thing that they do when they're older.
They're babies.
Oh, anyway. So they talk about this over lunch, and Nancy says that even though Donna admitted to wanting the place to close, they still don't have any like evidence that says that she is responsible for this phony order, right? After lunch, they play dress up upstairs in Bess's attic, and then they head to the Double Dip. They meet Mike there, and Kathy Perez gives them a tour of the freezer, and she kind of explains how ice cream should never be allowed to get too soft and refreeze because then it can ruin the texture and the flavor. And we also learn that she gets all of her flavors from the River Heights Dairy. Midway through this tour, though, she gets a phone call, and she ends up having to cut their tour short. And she's like, oh, we'll have to finish at another time, kids. And then they leave. That evening, Nancy and Carson go to the movies after like dinner. Just so cute. It's just like a daddy-daughter date. And Nancy talks about like how they do this all the time. And she and her dad love to go to the movies and then talk about the movies after. I'm like, this is so precious. I just like can't.
Adorable.
And afterwards, they run into the Manelli family outside of Double Dip. And Mike is there, and Carson like is teasing him about ice cream, how much ice cream he must be eating because he has an ice cream cone now. And also, you know, they're working on this project about ice cream, and they've been going to these ice cream parlors, which Nancy has told him about. So he teases Mike a little bit about him and about this. And Mike says that he couldn't resist to get another scoop tonight because Double Dip has his favorite flavor on sale. You'll want to guess what the flavor is, Kori?
Could it be?
Pineapple papaya. Should we take a quick break, Kori?
Let's
for
do
an
it.
ad? Okay. We'll be right back.
Okay, and we're back. So Nancy's thinking about this pineapple papaya thing all night. Could Mike have had something to do with the phony, what was it, like 10-gallon extra order? Were he and Donna working on it together? Would more sabotage happen at the Double Dip the next day? Who knows? So the next day, they bike over to the Sugar and Spice to meet with the group and with Sid to learn how he makes his ice cream. They get a full demo from Sid and Bobby on how they make their peach ice cream with this big industrial ice cream maker machine that he has. Later that afternoon, Nancy, Bess, and George go back to the Double Dip without Mike, actually, because he has to go to play mini golf or something.
See, another activity. Like,
yes.
he just has plans to hang out with his friends or go play mini golf. Okay, these children are 8 and 9. This is another thing. Like, one, it's crazy to me how they have such booked itineraries. The other crazy thing to me is that they're just allowed to just go places by themselves.
Right? They just walk wherever they want to in town. I can't imagine.
Yeah, I know that the 80s or the 90s were a different time.
Sure.
And the parenting was probably not as, helicoptery as it is these days. But an 8-year-old on the street with a bike going anywhere, like that scares me to death. Like, there was crap happening in the 90s. You know what I mean? Kids were getting abducted. Like, I can't imagine. If I were Carson, I would be behind them with my car the whole time.
We turned 8 years old within, I think, 7 years of this book being published. And I was not allowed to ride my bike further than the end of the street. Like, my mom had to be able to see me from the front door. And if I wasn't, that was too far. I wasn't allowed to go that far. They're just going wherever they want.
We had a similar rule when I was about this age. Our street was maybe a little bit longer, and it was kind of out of sight of the door of like our front yard or whatever. And so we could go to the end of the street, but we could not leave the actual street.
Yeah.
We weren't supposed to. So, yeah, this is crazy.
Can't imagine having this kind of schedule.
Yeah.
Anyway. So after Mike leaves to go to mini golf, they go back to the Double Dip where Kathy Perez gives them the second half of the tour from the other day. It's really quick though because she's really busy. But suddenly they hear someone shouting help with like thudding sounds coming from the storage room. The person shouting for help, we learn it's Meg, one of the waitresses at the Double Dip. She slipped and dropped an ice cream bucket because the floor of the freezer was all wet. And all the ice cream is melted. Which, didn't we just learn how bad it is to let our ice cream melt and refreeze?
We sure did, Kori.
So they look around a little bit and they find someone unplugged the freezer. So Nancy's wondering who could have done this, and she remembers yesterday on their tour, Mike actually stepped away for a few minutes to go use the bathroom. What if he didn't actually go into the bathroom? He actually slipped into this room, unplugged the freezer, and then rejoined the group without any issues.
Because they did just learn all together. She had just said you can't refreeze ice cream. It ruins the texture.
And Mike was right there. And then they turned around and they're like, where's Mike? And George is like, oh, he went to the bathroom. Oh, okay. No big deal. Right. But the next day at school, Bess says that she had a dream about peanut butter marshmallow ice cream and that it was like so good she has to go get some for real now. So after school, Nancy and George go with her back to go to the Double Dip. When she gets her order, and this is the image that's probably what's on the cover here, she gets her order, she takes a bite, and she immediately spits it out, saying, I've been poisoned.
She obviously has not been poisoned, but her fudge topping apparently has been heavily salted. So there's been some more sabotage here at the Double Dip, just as Nancy suspected there would be. And so the girls end up going into the back room with Kathy to look at this fudge container. Seems like nothing else was sabotaged, but this fudge container was, in fact, like someone poured salt into it and it's ruined. Kathy is just so confused about who could have done this because she keeps this room locked and only she and Meg have the key, who's this, the waitress here. Nancy looks around this room and spots a window. It's high up and it's kind of small, but someone could have potentially come in through this window. So anyway, Nancy says goodbye to Bess and George, and Nancy decides she's gonna ride her bike home, but after Bess and George leave, she has this thought like, I wonder if there are any clues in the alley. So she goes back around behind the shop to look, and she sees a bucket standing like turned over underneath this window, almost as if someone used this bucket to climb up through the window. But she kind of judges the distance, and even standing on the bucket, Mike would have been too short to reach the window. So who could it have been then who climbed in through this window? She also smells like something weird in the trash, and she goes to look, and she finds a bottle of peach extract. Exactly like the one that they had the other day when they were making the peach ice cream at Sugar and Spice. So she also looks at it and sees like salt stuck around the rim of it. So it seems like someone used this peach extract bottle to transport the salt over here, climbed in through the window, poured the salt from the bottle into the fudge container, climbed back out, threw the bottle into the trash, and left. So Nancy suddenly has like, she solved the crime. She knows what happens. She takes this bottle, puts it in her backpack, and quickly runs over to Sugar and Spice, where she sees Sid standing behind the counter. And she goes up to him and she says, "Is Bobby here?" And he says, "Yeah, he's in the back room." And so she runs into the back room, slams the bottle on the counter, and says, "You're the one who's been trying to close down the double dip." Yay! So Sid overhears this accusation and comes in behind Nancy, thankfully, and Bobby does admit to it all. He sabotaged the double dip because he wanted to save Sugar and Spice for his grandpa, because his grandpa was worried about it closing. But he does know he did wrong, like that this was not the right thing to do, and so he decides that he's going to go confess to Kathy. The next morning, Nancy explains what happened to Bess and George. She explains that she knew it was Bobby because he was tall enough to get in through the wind to reach the window, and Sid wasn't small enough to fit through it. So also, whenever and obviously the peach extract bottle is from Sugar and Spice, and so when she went there and she went in to see Bobby, she also noticed then that he had marshmallow fudge on his jeans from the fudge container, and so she knew it was him. Because Sid doesn't serve any marshmallow fudge like that, so it had to have been him who sabotaged the fudge. So then, anyway, they go into class and they start to give their report on this their ice cream project, when suddenly they get some visitors. It's Sid and Kathy. They tell everyone that they are actually going to combine their stores so that they'll draw even more customers, because apparently Kathy has the prettiest shop or whatever, and Sid does all these homemade flavors. So he's actually going to supply Kathy's store with his ice cream, and he will continue to run his shop, but just as like a takeout place, like just to pick up ice cream. And that way he'll get his customers from basically Kathy's store, and he's not gonna like have to spend time serving people in a store. So it's like a happy medium, I guess. Mm-hmm. This seems like kind of unrealistic, like an unrealistic resolution to this problem, but hey, I'll take it, you know? Anyway, they tell Nancy that Bobby learned his lesson. He's also working to pay Kathy back for all of the melted ice cream and the pineapple papaya order. Also, Kathy and Sid have brought a new flavor for the class to taste test. It is a flavor that they have named Nancy's Fudge Berry Clue, because like throughout the story, Nancy could never decide whether she wanted fudge ice cream or like strawberry ice cream. Mm-hmm. So they combined the flavors for her.
Now she doesn't have to choose.
And now she doesn't have to choose.
That's so cute.
Yes. And then we end the story with an entry in Nancy's notebook where she writes, "You can't ever help someone by hurting someone else." And that's the end. Yeah.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's cute. I think it's sweet. I don't think there's really anything wrong with it, you know?
Yeah.
Ultimately. So I don't have a problem. I'm just, it's for kids. It's for kids. So, you know,
I felt like the young Nancy Best George portrayal hit the nail on the head. I felt like that's exactly who they would be like when they were 9 years old.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise everything else was just kind of saccharine, you know?
Yes. That's a great way to describe it, Kori, is very saccharine. And I think I would like to see them in a little bit more stressful situations.
Sure.
I feel like as a kid, I was so stressed out. You know what I mean? There were things that were like, I mean, you know, not really, but like there were definitely things that like felt very big and large to
of
me
course.
at that age, you know, obviously. And it just doesn't seem like maybe that was the case here. I mean, they were definitely like vaguely concerned about the stress on Sid that Sid was having about potentially having to close Sugar and Spice because of all of this. And they were kind of thinking in larger terms about like, oh, I guess this sabotage really could also really damage Double Dip too. And they were like kind of concerned about that, but like not really. Like, you know, they still weren't bothered enough to like not enjoy their movie or, you know, not go rollerblading and, you know, play dress up and all this stuff. They, you know, they're still being kids.
Yeah.
And I think I would like to see a little bit more of heightened stakes, like a little bit more feeling responsible for something and maybe struggling with that. I still think it can be age appropriate and not be anything crazy and dark, but still be a little bit more relatable, I think, to this age group. Because I think the most relatable thing is the stress of having your teacher assign someone else to your group in class that you don't like.
Yeah.
That's so relatable. And I was like, this is like honestly the best part of the book for me is kind of this drama. And so I wanted to see that portrayed more in the mystery, I think. Like I want to see some more dynamics there with the mystery actually affecting our trio somehow and not just being kind of secondary to them, you know?
Could have been interesting because we don't like investigate Donna or anything. We don't look into that anymore. That could have been a good opportunity to go back and like have some sort of additional conflict with Mike of, oh, now you're accusing my brother's girlfriend. And
right. Yeah, that would have been good. And then made like for like a stressful school day or something, like a stressful like lunch hour where they had to deal with something because of that. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. But I mean, I know it's short and I know it's aimed for kids. And so they're not wanting to get into things that are too heavy, that are going to take too long to resolve. I get it. But I just think, I don't know. I think kids would want that. You know, I think kids would get into that a little bit better. But ultimately, I think it was good.
Yeah, it's cute. I like the length. Didn't feel like it was crazy long or anything. It was easy. So
yeah, not too short, not too long. So a good little chapter book. It's just maybe a little dated. Yeah. You know? So I don't know how well they would translate to the youth of today, the little kiddies of today. You know, I think if I were a kid today, I probably would be like, how are they riding around by themselves? And why are they having to use a payphone? And I don't really care about ice cream. And it would probably feel like this, it feels like another world that is not very, doesn't apply and isn't necessarily something that they're super interested in. Yeah. You know? Not in like a fantasy aspect and this is kind of cool and interesting to think about kind of a way, but this feels like plasticine, like not real. Yeah. So
I wonder what these would have been like if they'd been written even earlier. Because, of course, it wasn't until the 90s that we ever even started to attempt these chapter books. Obviously, the two picture books came out in, like, the 70s, I think, late 70s. But otherwise, there was no attempt at anything other than that 8 to 12 group until the files, really. So I wonder if we'd written this in, like, the 60s. What would it look like, you know?
Yeah, and would we feel the same way that kids today might feel about this? That's an interesting thought, Kori. I don't know. Yeah, it's difficult to say because, again, I wasn't a child in the 60s, so I don't know what a 60s childhood might look like. Yeah.
We were the target audience for these, you know. These started in the mid-90s and went on for a little bit until we were that, like, 7 to 9 age group, so. Yeah,
let me look and see what these spanned. You're so much faster than me at this.
2005 was the last one.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. We were the target demographic for these. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, 94 was the very first one. So
like a good 10-year run.
mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah.
Good amount of time. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just never connected with them for some reason for me. So
Yeah.
oh well.
I do think it's interesting though that I have a Scholastic cover. So clearly they sold these through the Scholastic book fair. It even says on the back of my cover, this edition is only available for distribution through the school market.
Oh.
So these were specifically for schools, this
Interesting
edition of the book. Yeah, either through, I don't know, selling directly to schools or through the Scholastic Book Fair, I assume. Yeah. So
that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but I don't think I have anything else really to say.
Yeah, I don't know that you really could say anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
And I honestly, I don't even know. Like, sometimes I'll say, like, I think this is worth your read, Regular Drews.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that it is, you know?
Yeah.
I think maybe if you have a kid this age, you might consider giving this to them as like a way to share Nancy Drew with them if they maybe weren't ready for the mystery stories or something like that and you wanted to kind of introduce them to the character. It might be an okay way. But again, like I was saying, I don't know that a kid today is necessarily going to be as interested in this. And probably the more updated younger books are going to be a little better, I would assume.
Maybe.
But we'll find out.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. What would you give it, Kori? What flashlight score would you give it?
I was just thinking, how are we going to compare these to all of our like 8 to 12 and young adult series, you know? Because it's just so different.
The same way we do with all of them, which is right up next to them, baby. Yeah. You know?
Mini flashlight. I think we said that one time for one of the short stories that we were going to judge it with mini keychain flashlights instead of a normal size flashlight. I don't know what I'm talking about. That's silly, but I don't know. A 3, I guess. It's fine. It's not for me, obviously, so I'm not gonna love it, but I don't think that it's bad.
Yeah, that's hard. It is hard. Because again, I also don't think it's bad. But I don't think it's bad for what it is. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Right. Like, I think if I'm judging on the scale of all of them, I don't think I would say that it's good. Yeah. You know? Mm-hmm. So I think I would give it like a 2.5, 2.75, stacked up against everything else. It's a simple mystery. It's not super complicated. Mm-hmm. There's nothing really wrong with it, but also there's nothing really to sink your teeth into, and there's nothing super exciting about it. Right. You know? So that's how I would stack it up against everything else. You know?
That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think that's very fair.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But that's okay. Yeah. I it was a fine. It took me like, not very long to read it. It was a day. No. Yeah. Less than a day. So, it was, I think it was worth it. It was worth it to cover it, to kind of check it out, to see what the notebooks are about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, we're going to move on to another one. Not a Nancy Drew notebook, but this one is going to be a Clue Crew book. Our patrons voted on this, and we will actually be covering the very first one, Sleepover Sleuths. So I'm interested in that. I really want to know if it's going to be another origin story. I'm always interested in how they do it. And you were talking, Kori, about how this one kind of overwrote the canon of Secret of the Old Clock. Mm-hmm. But
they
I
all
also
will, I guess. But
that's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Well, yeah, they will do that. But I don't know, like, are we saying that Nancy Drew is solving mysteries for the first time in every first book of these series? I don't even know in the notebooks if that's like,
I see.
I assume they pose it that way because she's so young. You would have to at some point say something's her first mystery, and you're not going to write a younger series than this.
Right.
You know, it's like, you're not going to write, picture books probably. So probably
a 5-year-old Nancy.
That. Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
So I'm interested to read a first one of one of these series. So yeah. So that'll be interesting. I don't actually have my copy yet, so I can't read the back of it.
Oh.
You guys.
Let me get mine then.
Ooh.
Got mine here. Okay. 8-year-old Nancy Drew has her first case to crack. That's what it says at the very top. Can you help? Nancy and her 2 best friends, George and Bess, are so excited. They have been invited to Deirdre's sleepover party.
Oh my God. Baby Dee!
I'm so ready for that. Oh my gosh. Were they maybe friends with Deirdre at first and then like drifted apart over the years? That'll be interesting.
I could see that. Yeah.
But it says there will be pizza, cake, and even a pajama fashion show. But the most exciting thing is that the party has a City Girls doll theme. All of the guests are bringing their dolls with them. But Deirdre's City Girls doll, Hollywood Heather, goes missing. Is her sleepover ruined, or is there a detective in the room who can make sense of this mystery? That's so cute.
That is really cute. I love that. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that'll be really fun. I'm excited about that. Excited to see baby Dee Dee. I also love the kind of like playing up the girly aspects of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh God, we were obsessed with a good sleepover, a good slumber party. Oh, a pajama fashion show, though, would have stressed me out to no end.
Oh, yeah. That's a bit much.
Like, what do I wear? My pajamas are going to be judged. Like,
no, we would have been doing dress up before we did any sort of fashion show. We would have become pirates and have a swashbuckle fight, probably.
Oh, yeah. Makeshift stick swords kind of thing. Absolutely. We would have done that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or we would have been secret agents. We would have snuck around whoever's house we were at. Yeah. Yes.
Climbing down the banister over the side.
Mm-hmm. Pretending to have like little weapons and like compact laser mirrors and 100%. Yeah.
Singing to ourselves. Yeah.
like Kronk in The Emperor's New Groove, where he's sneaking and like doing his own theme music as he sneaks. Yes.
Oh gosh, we were creative children.
Oh, listen, you got to do something to pass the time.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. And we'll see you then, regular Drews.
Yeah, we'll see you then.
Thank you for listening to Regular Nancy Drew. If you like this episode, make sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
You can visit our website, regularnancydrew.com, and follow us on Instagram at regularnancydrew. You can also email us at regularnancydrew@gmail.com.
Please support us by becoming a member on our website or on Patreon. All members receive early access to each episode as well as weekly bonus content.
Members at the $5 level vote on upcoming episode topics and get access to our Scoop Sesh series, and members at the $7 level also receive exclusive access to our video series, R&D Watch.
If you're looking to show off your love for your favorite detective, be sure to check out our website for our collection of regular Nancy Drew merch.
And if you still can't get enough of the mysteries, our collection of Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys audiobooks are available on our website and all major audiobook platforms.
And to all you regular Drews out there, thanks for listening.